Good afternoon. I'm Brandon Sanders. I'm a solutions architect with data strategy, and I support our healthcare group. And we wanted to talk today around some of our development with FinApp, specifically with FinApp in clinical applications such as Epic Hyperspace or Cerner Millennium. And over the last 18 months or so, as a lot of our healthcare organizations that we work with have started to explore application virtualization and desktop virtualization, we found a lot of commonality in the reasons why and how they're exploring desktop and application virtualization. And so we've been working with them to basically understand what are the drivers, what are the outcomes that they're seeking, and find their objectives for desktop virtualization, for application virtualization. And there's consistency in why they're exploring that from a standpoint of that they want to provide a very consistent user experience regardless of the device, regardless of the location that they're connecting from. And what's a key enabler for healthcare with FinApp is that FinApp provides the ability to provide a very consistent clinical application experience regardless of how they're connecting to the environment. Now, for some organizations, they're looking at the full-on desktop virtualization approach. A great example of that is a healthcare organization we're working with where they're going under kind of a merger and acquisition approach right now, where they're acquiring some physician offices, they're acquiring some specialty practices, and other community hospitals are joining their health system. And desktop virtualization provides them a very quick, easy way to give these users access to their clinical systems from disparate assets without having to rip and replace PCs or re-image workstations across these locations. But for some organizations, they don't really want to look at desktop virtualization just yet. They're just considering application virtualization. And maybe the driver is that they want to manage applications better, they want to handle application packaging or distribution better across these numerous distributed application mechanisms. Some people deploy with Citrix, some people have a combination of Citrix with SMS or System Center type deployments. And FinApp has been a key enabler in helping them to realize benefits, realize efficiencies in packaging clinical applications, deploying updates, pushing out these applications across distributed environments. What's interesting, though, and what's happening with the organizations that are looking at desktop virtualization is that they're using FinApp as kind of a bridging strategy to bring them towards that desktop virtualization approach. So what's happening is they have planning in place to look at virtualizing clinical desktops, but today they're not there, and they're not ready to take that on. They may have a distributed Citrix environment, and a key example is another healthcare institution where they have a Citrix environment for specific applications because of these compatibility conflicts and these dependencies within a clinical application. So whether your use case is to streamline clinical application delivery using your existing distribution mechanisms, whether it's to consolidate Citrix silos or Citrix infrastructure, or whether it's to look at that bridging strategy towards desktop virtualization, the goal of these services in our partnership with VMware is to help organizations very quickly package these complex clinical applications and do the planning, do the deployment planning, do the end user impact planning around migrating users from a traditional workstation environment where applications are installed or distributed using traditional approaches to a FinApp approach. In some cases, even taking it on to the desktop virtualization. So what we want to do is our staff and VMware staff is available to you to talk about this release and this announcement around these services and this package offering. And we'd be happy to talk with you around our clinical experience, the projects that we've had exposure to, and how it may relate to your organization. Thank you.